All right, welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon reviews. 4 reviews up this week, the first of which is Square Brothers. 2 Bandit Brothers, 1 Epic Heist, solve spatial challenges, and steal shiny treasures on this brand new Mega Drive game.
Like the Sega?
I'm guessing
Kind
that
of like
means
Colorful Box Boy from where I'm standing.
I guess that's a way of putting it.
I
Bit
assume
different.
the fact that one of your guys is tall and one of your guys is wide is important to problem solving.
It's not just important; it's the entire game. Like the entire game is figuring out which Longy and Shorty, not their real names, but I don't think they're given real names, or if they are, I didn't see them. Like maybe at the ending. Anyway, Squatch and Stretch here, yeah, very much not just figuring out which holes they can go through, but also you have to use one or the other as a platform to get to higher ground. And that's really the game. That's it. Outside of collecting your goal, your super goal is getting the key. Your side goal is getting all the shinies. And yeah, that's literally it. I'd say the main problem with this game is its ramp up. The levels do get more complicated, but not much more complicated in the 20 levels I played. And they will introduce a couple of gimmicks, like the switches that open doors. But it's very basic stuff. How do I put this? This feels like a sliver of a Nintendo puzzle game. To that I mean, like if this were a puzzle game made by Nintendo, this would be like a gimmick for a level, maybe like a couple levels, and then they'd move on to something else. Here, it's
or like for comparison, Box Boy has a little bit more than just the one gimmick.
Right, but this game really is just the one gimmick. It's got a few extra bits bolted on, just for like almost token level progression. To say they have something approaching a learning curve, but it's pretty flat. Mainly because there's no pressures. There's no enemies.
No enemies, no hazards, really.
No timer. You can take as much time as you want, and it doesn't matter. And I think, and I can't believe I'm saying this, that was a mistake. Usually I'm the sort that doesn't like timers in puzzles and such, but there's nothing here to obstruct your view. And it's not exactly like you are solving quantum physics either. Like, the puzzles are pretty easy when you get down to it. So, once again, we have that very telltale Radalaikia blandness. And this may be the most bland one of them we've covered in a good long while. Now, granted, we haven't covered a lot of Radalaikia games in recent times. And games like this are a good reason why. It's just, like, this could be the poster child for mediocrity.
You think you pretend that quality has anything to do with why we actually review games.
Right, but it's Radalaikia's shockingly frustrating consistency with these things. Like, once again, they don't have internal development. Like, this is a game that somehow required 2 developers. I'm like, and it's also, maybe you could use the excuse that it's a Mega Drive game. Like, even by Mega Drive standards, this is pretty basic. Like,
Mega Drive is the one that is the Genesis, right? Yeah, no, it's not Master System.
Yes. Whatever you want to call it. And this does appear...
I was just going to clarify, because I think that we all know of a couple of Mega Drive games that certainly push it way harder than this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, now, maybe there's some stuff under the hood that makes it more complicated. I got to admit, it doesn't look or sound like a Mega Drive game, but that's mainly because, strictly speaking, this isn't a Mega Drive game. I did look this up, and no, like, this game is ported to the Mega Drive / Genesis. So that means development started on not the Mega Drive. And that doesn't matter, because the version we're seeing here isn't necessarily the version you get on the Genesis. Like, whatever compromises that need be would probably be made by the developers. Granted, that's just speculation at this point, because we've talked to quite a few of retro system developers at this point. The thing of it is, like, what's really striking to me is how colorful this game is.
Oh yeah, no,
like,
this is not the Genesis color palette at all.
Yeah, it's like there's too many colors here. That's a dead giveaway. That this wasn't native to a Genesis. The other is the music. It's unspectacular, but it's not using that very telltale Genesis twang. Like, nothing sounds like a Genesis does, other than a Genesis.
For better or for ill, depending on your feelings towards the Genesis sound font.
Well, it depends on what sound font they use.
Fair
if they
enough.
use gems, they probably need to not do that. That's the really bad sound font of the Genesis. That's the one that you get the really bad twang from. A lot of Western developers tend to use that one. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Granted, Genesis music in general, with, like, okay, yeah, I enjoy your Sonic soundtracks and anything composed by Yuzo Shiro, but by and large, I don't like Genesis sound. But that's perhaps a personal preference.
Yeah.
Point is, this game doesn't look like or sound like a Genesis game. A true Genesis game. Now, that really doesn't have any bearing on what we're reviewing here, because, we're not reviewing the Genesis version. We're reviewing the modern version. Because I guarantee you, this game is the same on the PC as it is on the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox, the PlayStation. Although, hopefully not, because this is actually a game I put a bit below average. In all honesty, like, it's got the usual vanilla flavorings of a Radalaikia title. But it's also kind of put together slipshod. Like, the jumping feels very slippery.
Yeah.
And, like, sometimes you don't go in through, especially, like, jumping through a hole, you don't go through. Like, it kind of looks bugged or something. Like, it's not good. Like, but I'm also not pleased, but this is the first Rodalikia game I've played. I tend to play them the least because they are so much less of a PC publisher than they are a console publisher. But this one actually had the usual achievement setup that they have on the consoles. And that is to say, really easy achievements handed out pretty quickly. Like, it's the laziest kind of achievements. I find them in a lot of Telltale games as well. It's the achievements like you got through the game at a normal pace. And okay, there's some achievements for getting all the shinies, which are, once again, not very hard to get. So it's basically, very brain dead achievement gathering, which is what Rodalikia Games is really known for. In fact, like, you look them up on YouTube, you will get like platinum, very easy platinum guides.
Right.
Yeah, that's what Rodalikia games are known for. Very easy platinum trophies, specifically like platinum trophies. Probably the same kind of deal on like Xbox with the gamer score.
Right.
It's just, gamer score has not necessarily been devalued, but certainly been de-emphasized since like the heyday of the Xbox 360.
Like, Xbox, for people who have like ungodly high gamer scores, sometimes Xbox has like special like swag or promotions for stuff like that. But like, by and large, your gamer score is relatively meaningless unless you have one of those super high numbers.
Like, and on Steam, it really doesn't mean anything.
Apparently the only thing you can really use achievements for is to basically kinda as a pseudo check if the game's pirated. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I think like Pirate Software has a like check for that in his game, Heartbound.
It's possible. Like, I don't know, we don't tend to really ask about achievement systems because once again, we don't really care about achievements.
Yeah, I
I know.
vaguely remember back in the day, like this is back in like high school, Steam was running like some sort of, I guess during one of the big sales, or like if you get a certain achievement in X game, you can get like special trading cards or
I think
something.
I think it was experience points.
Yeah, it might have been that.
Like, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. But by and large, achievements don't really matter on Steam. Like, in fact, one of the reasons why is because you can hack your Steam account to get like all the achievements in the game.
Yeah.
It's why Steam declined to have the gamer score thing.
Yeah, like it'd be nothing for me to go grab a completed save file of, let's say, Deus Ex, plug that in, and it would give me all the achievements.
Deus Ex doesn't have achievements.
I meant to say Human Revolution, but
right. I get what you're saying. But yeah, that's like the biggest legacy of Rodalikia titles. Not the only one, because they've also been getting into retro gaming. Like, we covered those shmups. Like last year. But as far as the game goes, a bit under par for Rodalikia published titles. usually I go, they're fine, but really the game feels a bit off here.
Mm.
That being said, it's also the standard Radalaikia price, and that is $5. So once again, you're not out a lot of money if you plunk down for it. It's just, I really couldn't recommend this game for a bevy of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the control issues, but like I said, this feels like a fragment of an idea, not something you build an entire game around.
Right. Or it's
No.
something you do as a test for like some sort of gimmick machine, not your,
Yeah.
Like I could see something like this on the DS where, they're split between screens and whatnot.
And once again, it being a Genesis or a Genesis adjacent title doesn't excuse its mediocrity.
Because we've
So,
played some truly amazing Genesis games.
yeah. Anyway, I think that'll about do it for Square Brothers here.
All right.
So be sure to tune in after the break as Petty Fan Reviews 1998, The Toll Keeper Story.